Okay, this is the news from Smithsburg, a very special video edition. I'm David Lidz, your news from Smithsburg correspondent. Today we are reporting, not from Smithsburg, not even from Washington County, not even from the state of Maryland. We are reporting from New York City, and we're up in Harlem to be exact. And that's one reason this edition is so special, but the main reason this edition is so special is we are conducting an interview today with a very special guest. Jackson BECKETT RISHWORTH is our guest, and of course he is special for so many reasons, many of which you already know. Jackson, of course, is a future Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, as well as a future Baseball Hall of Fame inductee. Just two stellar careers, one in rock and roll music, the other in Major League Baseball, ahead of him, and we all know about these future stellar careers. So Jackson has agreed to sit down for a few minutes with us to talk to us about baseball and rock and roll music, and of a couple other subjects. Hey Jackson, how's it going? How are you feeling today? Yes, I agree. Yes. It is a beautiful day to be up in New York. It was a little chilly today, but the sun was out, and well, I just think it's grand that we have this opportunity to spend a few minutes with you, Jackson. So let's get to some talk about. Let's talk rock and roll. You, of course, have this rock and roll career in front of you, a stellar Hall of Career fame ahead of you, which everybody knows about. But what we don't know is exactly how you will make your mark in rock and roll music. What type of rock and roll music will you play? What instrument will you play? Band, solo career? Tell us. Oh, so you are thinking that integrating poop sounds and grunts into what is otherwise known as mainstream rock, so sort of maybe a heavy metal guitar sound, but accentuated with poop sounds and grunts associating with the act of pooping, will launch rock and roll music into a whole new direction. Fascinating. I am stunned by that answer. Not quite what I was expecting. I thought Jackson might go more the Beatles route, a retreat up into the Himalayas with a yogi, pick up some sitar, introduce, those kinds of worldly sounds, or maybe worldly is the wrong term, but those sort of exotic sounds to rock and roll music. But Jackson is saying he's leaning towards the pooping sounds and maybe some flatulence in that too. What do you think, Jackson? Oh, yes. I agree. And, okay. Speaking of yogis and the Himalayas, it appears to be Jackson's time for yoga. Oh, we can continue the interview even though you're getting into your yoga positions? Well, that is mighty generous of you, Jackson. And so we'll try to wrap this up quickly. Let's switch to baseball. Jackson, we are pretty curious, just like we were with your rock and roll career. How in baseball will you make your mark? Wow. Again, not what I was expecting. I'm just fascinated by this interview, by the answers this genius is providing us. So Jackson, you really think you'll be more of a defensive leader with a strong bat, but known for your leadership on the diamond and as an infielder, you say, a shortstop. So you fancy yourself more as the Cal Ripken type. I really thought that given your enormous stature, you'd be a slugger, a Greg Luzinski or a Reggie Jackson, and that you would make your mark by pounding the ball out of the park. But you're saying your idols have been, your big idol is Cal Ripken Jr., who was, great in all aspects of the game, but was really known for his work ethic and his leadership and his humility. Wow, that is just fantastic. And of course, you have a... Oh, yes. Well, yes, Billy was an interesting character on the field too, but, a sort of different dynamic to the game of baseball than what Cal brought. I can see that you really want to get down to your yoga business, and you're sort of, needing for us to move on, and we completely understand that, even though we are your uncle, and we are so grateful for you giving us this opportunity to be your uncle, because what a special gig that is for us. We won't abuse our connection with you. So let's just wrap it up. Jackson, you followed the election, the recent election, very closely, and in fact, you ran your own polls, and you all along predicted what would end up being the outcome, that Obama would win again, would win by a healthy electoral margin. You predicted all along that he'd win by, with a count of somewhere around 320 to 330 votes, and you predicted he would pick up Florida and Ohio. You got it right all the way along. Do you care to discuss your methodology, discuss what it is you got right in the polls, in the polling process that so many others of these, so-called pros missed? Interesting. Well, that is just fascinating. Right. Well, I can't add anything to that. I mean, you've described a methodology that really sounds fairly foolproof, but like what you wish to emulate with Cal Ripken Jr. required a lot of work and discipline, and just sticking to the basics. I see. All right. Well, you are a busy man. We can see that. And we from the News from Smithsburg don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much again, Jackson, for agreeing to do this interview. And thank you, viewers, for watching. And tune in next time when you have content as great as this, an interview as historic as this. You don't ever want to miss an episode of the News from Smithsburg, particularly the video editions. So, this is David Lidz saying thank you and signing off.